What's your drug of choice? How do you deal with feelings of anxiety, stress, feeling overwhelmed? Where do you go to in that place? So what is your drug of choice? All addictions have their roots, they're very deep-seated. And the intention of the addiction is to lower the sense of threat or perceived threat that a person is feeling. Now, if I understand that all behavior makes sense, and I put that behavior in context, or in fact the person themselves is able to put that behavior in context, then they can begin the journey of understanding where that has been needed in their lives, what dis-ease is going on for them, in what situations, with what people, in what surroundings, and begin to become aware, saying, oh my goodness, so this is my response. So what do I reach for when that dis-ease arises? Do I reach for a drink? Do I reach for a drug? Do I reach for a sleeping tablet? Do I reach for sex, relationship, work? Do I reach for food? Do I not eat when I feel overwhelmed? So what is our go-to place, and how have I needed that in my life? What purpose has it served? So that curiosity opens a whole other conversation about an addiction. I begin to understand, okay, so maybe in certain social situations, that disease is there, and rather than feel it, which is not very comfortable, I'll have a drink or two or three or whatever, however many, to soothe and to calm that dis-ease. Now, so often we go quite violently attacking addictions. It's like shooting the messenger. So they're not understood, and therefore the idea is, well, I'll just eradicate them straight away. And we may try, and maybe on a Monday morning set ourselves a target and an intention, and of course within a couple of days it's proving too difficult. And what happens usually is that we return even more strongly than ever to the addiction, because there's that feeling of dejection and criticism of self for not having been able to do something that I feel I should be able to do. So weighted on top of all that self-criticism then is that what the shoulds and have tos and musts and what other people might say and think. Whereas actually what's being asked for is an understanding of how I have needed this in my life, and how at some level it's provided a kind of a comfort zone for me. Now, whether that comfort zone is going to work all of the time, so any extreme is an addiction of any behavior. So if I find myself constantly at work, so what is that telling me? That I avoid being in the home, I avoid relationships? What is it keeping me safe from? And because it's one that's very much, we get a lot of validation for, it's overlooked as an addiction. Whereas, of course, we're very quick to pick the easy